This is the gentleman that's on the 500 rupee note. So he's immortalized on the 500 rupee note. So I want you to, in very small writing, on the 500 rupee note, you can see his name and also his the date of birth and the date of death. So let's take a look at the building. And typical of all Mauritian houses, we have the shutters. And these shutters are here for when there's a cyclone. When the winds blow very hard, then they close the shutters. And a famous saying that he had was, we all know how hard a country has to struggle before it established its identity. We know equally that a proper education is an integral part of that struggle.
The certificate, you can see here.
Oh wow, we had this proper Hindu cremation. This is his actually birth, the birthday, the birth certificate in 1909. In 1909, this was the notice of his birth. He was the Minister of Local Government and Cooperative Development since 1963.
Grandmother.
Wow, this is his grandmother and his grandfather.
An Indian.
Wow, born in India. Wow, they came from India. He was the second generation.
1864.
Yeah, they arrived in Pravasi Ghat.
Is immigration.
In the immigration depot in Port Louis in 1864. And they were indentured labourers from the village of Kundera, northern India, and were sent to work on a sugar estate in Rivière d'Anguille. Now imagine this. His grandfather and grandmother came all the way as indentured labourers, and he rose to become a minister of Mauritius. And the first 3 years of his life he spent in Tyack, and then in 1911 the Bisoondoyal family moved to Rosehill. So this is the house that he was born in, and this house has now been preserved as a museum. These are some relics from the house.
This is
Mahatma Gandhi was a friend of his.
And
he was a teacher and an educationalist, and this was the house. And imagine this. This was his bed.
And then you can see here.
And then he was imprisoned between 1947 and 1957. He was imprisoned 4 times by the British colonial government because of insubordination. He organized a procession of bullock carts in Port Louis. Can you imagine that? Without the permission of the Commissioner of Police, in order to protest against the racist policies against non-whites in South Africa. He was a very simple man. He wore simple clothing, but he stood for great principles, and that is why his face is on the 500. Okay, and he said, I believe when Christ said, "Dans la maison de mon père, il y a plusieurs appartements," he referred to other races and other communities and made room for all humanity, for all mankind to have hope that they will not be abandoned. He was a great man in the history of Mauritius, and we honor him for that.